The 2025 NFL season has been wild thus far, and we're not just talking about the games themselves.
NFL suspending Jamar Chase 1 game for spitting at Jalen Ramsey.
Let's dive into the 10 NFL players who absolutely took it too far in 2025. Jaylen Carter, DT, Philadelphia Eagles. Jaylen Carter managed to get himself ejected from the NFL's 2025 season opener before the first play from scrimmage even happened. Let that sink in for a second. This was the league's big kickoff game back in the beginning of September between the Eagles and Cowboys. Pretty much all of America was tuning in, ready for some football. And Carter spits on Dallas quarterback Dak Prescott in the opening seconds. The refs didn't even hesitate. Immediate ejection. Carter was headed to the locker room before he even broke a sweat, before the man made a single tackle, before the season was even a minute old. The NFL fined him $57,222 and counted the ejection as a 1-game suspension served. And just like that, Jalen Carter became example number 1 of the league's new enforcement policy. Jamar Chase, WR, Cincinnati Bengals. If you thought spitting on someone in week 1 was bad, well, wait until you hear about what Jamar Chase did in week 11. Chase's struggling Cincinnati Bengals had a pivotal matchup with their divisional rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Still without Joe Burrow to throw him the ball, and still with a defense incapable of getting a stop, it appears that Jamar Chase found his breaking point. Pittsburgh was absolutely crushing Cincinnati, 34-12, and somewhere in the middle of the beatdown, the man just snapped. Chase and Steelers cornerback Jalen Ramsey got into it, and next thing you know, video shows Chase spitting right in Ramsey's face. The NFL reviewed the footage, and they dropped the hammer. 1-game suspension without pay.
He spit on me.
Just to be clear, you did not spit on him at all points. That's what he's saying.
I ain't spit on nobody.
Yeah, league's making it pretty dang clear that they are not going to tolerate this kind of behavior, and Chase paid the price. Jalen Ramsey, CB, Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, let's flip to the other side of that same Bengals-Steelers disaster. Ramsey got spit on by Chase, and you want to know how he responded? Well, he responded by throwing a closed fist punch right at Chase's helmet. And do you want to know what the NFL's rulebook says about throwing punches with a clenched fist? Automatic ejection. No questions asked. So understandably, the refs tossed Ramsey from the game immediately after the altercation ensued, and the flags flew everywhere. Ramsey at least had a strong reason as to why he went rogue. Still doesn't make throwing a punch legal, but I mean, you can understand the frustration. Xavier Legette, WR, Carolina Panthers. This one happened before the regular season even kicked off, and it really set the tone for how wild 2025 was gonna be. During the Panthers' preseason opener against the Browns, less than 9 minutes into the game, Panthers receiver Xavier Legette and Browns safety Rayshon Jenkins got into it in a big way. Legette landed multiple punches like a prize-fight boxer, a legit 5-piece combo. As you might expect, both players ended up getting ejected and getting hit with fines all before the season even started. Dre Greenlaw, LB, Denver Broncos. You know that things got out of hand when a player chases a referee off the field and threatens him after the game is over. Getting face-to-face with a fellow player is one thing, but referees are like a different breed of human from the freakish athletes that play in the NFL. They got no way to defend themselves. But that is exactly what happened with Dre Greenlaw in mid-October. What was strange is that it came after his Broncos just pulled off a dramatic 33-32 comeback win over the Giants. Game-winning field goal. Place goes crazy, and Dre Greenlaw, in all that emotion, decides to chase after referee Brad Allen as he's trying to leave the field. Not just to yell at him, no, he allegedly verbally threatened him. I mean, come on, you gotta know that you can't do that to a referee without facing some serious consequences. Greenlaw got suspended 1 game without pay. And here's the real kicker of all of this. This was Greenlaw's first game of the 2025 season. Yeah, he had been out 6 games with a quad injury and finally came back. And first game back, he's so fired up after the win that he threatens a referee and gets himself suspended for the next one. Brian Branch, safety, Detroit Lions. Lions versus Chiefs. Kansas City wins 30-17. Game's over. Final kneel down. Time to shake hands and move on, right? Well, not for Brian Branch. In the final seconds seconds after the kneel down, Branch walked up to Chiefs wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster and hit him with an open-handed blow, sent Juju to the ground. And then Branch grabbed his face mask and threw him down again. Smith-Schuster came away with a bloody nose. Massive brawl erupts with both teams swarming the field. Total chaos. And all this after the game was already decided. The NFL suspended Branch 1 game without pay. Branch appealed the suspension, but it was upheld. No surprise there. Meanwhile, Juju Smith-Schuster wasn't fined at all for the block that started the whole thing. Trayvon Walker, DE, Jacksonville Jaguars. In the third quarter of Raiders vs. Jaguars, Las Vegas had just kicked a go-ahead field goal to take a 9-6 lead with 6 minutes and 26 seconds left. That was where it went sideways for Trayvon Walker. The former number 1 overall pick with a $37 million contract decides to punch Raiders offensive lineman Stone Forsythe right in the face mask. Forsythe and Walker got into a scuffle immediately after the kick. Both of them drew offsetting unnecessary roughness penalties, but only Walker got ejected. Because, well, he threw that punch. The NFL fined him just $12,172 for striking, and he didn't get suspended. Just a fine, no games missed. This inconsistency drew some eyeballs, especially considering how we've seen the league handle similar situations so far. Shiloh Sanders, safety, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Alright, here's another preseason fiasco, and this one ended a career before it even started. So, Buccaneers versus Bills. Shiloh Sanders, of the Deion Sanders lineage, undrafted free agent out of Colorado, was trying to make a roster. And during the game, tight end Zach Davidson is blocking Sanders. When the play ends, Davidson keeps blocking him and Sanders snaps, punching Davidson square in the helmet. Immediate ejection, refs didn't even think twice about it. Todd Bowles, Tampa Bay's head coach, was brutally honest after that game. He said,
"I know you can't throw punches in this league. I mean, that's inexcusable. They're going to get you every time."
Unsurprisingly, less than 24 hours later, the Buccaneers waived Shiloh Sanders. The NFL also fined him $4,669 for that punch. But by that point, Sanders was already out of the league. He posted on Instagram afterwards saying that he was okay moving on from an athletic career, said that music, modeling, or acting might just be his next step. Shedeur Sanders, QB, Cleveland Browns. Okay, this one is different. No punches thrown, no suspensions, no fines, and no spitting. But it was absolutely one of the most bizarre moments of the entire 2025 season. The Browns announced that Dillon Gabriel is going to be the starting quarterback. Shedeur Sanders, the rookie 5th-round pick, is staying at QB3 behind Gabriel and veteran Joe Flacco. Sanders shows up to the press conference, and he just goes full mime.
Vocally, anything to say?
I guess yourself and having fun. I guess what do you think you have to show to the coaches just to have that belief in you that you can be ready.
So what the heck was this all about?
What the hell was that?
Well, it turns out it was a direct response to Rex Ryan. The former NFL head coach and current ESPN analyst had gone on Get Up earlier that week and absolutely torched Sanders. Ryan said Sanders talks and he runs his mouth and called him an embarrassment. And he just went in on the kid. So Sanders decided to troll him. Can't talk if you don't say anything, right? Oh yeah, classic petty response. And you know, it worked. The internet went absolutely crazy. Some people thought it was hilarious, while others thought it was just immature and childish. No NFL punishment, no fine, no suspension, but it definitely raised eyebrows and showed that Sanders wasn't going to take criticism lying down. Whether that's good or bad, well, I mean, I guess we'll just have to see how the rest of his career plays out, but this will definitely be a moment that people are talking about for years to come. Javon Kinlaw, DT, Washington Commanders. This is one of the strangest ones on this list because somehow, someway, Javon Kinlaw took a swing at a referee, albeit a light one, made contact with his face, and somehow did not get ejected. His Commanders were getting beat down by the Lions when tempers boiled over and a fight broke out between the two teams, resulting in multiple players getting ejected. Only Kinlaw wasn't one of them, despite hitting Brandon Cruz directly in the head. The refs flagged him for unsportsmanlike conduct, but didn't surprisingly eject him. The game was already out of hand, so the lack of ejection didn't end up mattering to the outcome, but still, a very bizarre show of restraint from the officials, which are typically very happy to toss players out for far less severe actions. But hey, which of these NFL players do you think took it the farthest? Who do you think got off a little too easy? Do you think the league went a little too hard on some of these guys? And was there any insane incidents that we may have missed from 2025? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking that like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.